Right, onto the footy, Matty. It's not a crisis at Adelaide, but there's a sense of urgency at Zip 3 and so much promise last year. What have you nailed? What have you nailed as one of the reasons why you were Zip 3 and you can't kick goals at the moment? You can't score.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're finding ourselves back to a spot where we were probably 6 to 12 months ago. Getting a couple of small things wrong, which can make the game look a long way off, unfortunately. So we've got work to do in that space. But it's interesting, some of these weeks where you have such a poor performance, you're able to sit down and review it and really get to the bottom of it. So we have a short break. We go into a gather round Thursday night hit out against Melbourne, who are one of, if not the best team in the competition, in our opinion. So we're looking forward to that challenge. But I've said right the way through, you're never that good and you're never that bad. And at the moment, unfortunately, we're not that bad.
I wrote today about your bracket from 21 to 25. Now, they're all at different levels of experience and development. But at some stage, I'm asking you, how much do you lean on them and say, hey, it's about time this group stands up and takes this team forward? Because we've relied on Tex and Matty Crouch is back in and Rory Laird. That next group, surely, Matthew, must understand the urgency of them grabbing their opportunities.
Yeah, and that's our leaders. They're leaders of the club now. You mentioned Tex and Crouch and Laird and Smith. Those guys now will always be leaders, but we're now looking to the future and looking to that emerging group, as you said. Now, we go back to, call it the end of last season, we're talking so positively about the names you mentioned, McHenry and Jones. They've found their game and Adelaide are up and going. At the moment, we're in a slump. We're in the dark at this point, really struggling with our game, but we'll find it. Footy's, it's a funny game how you can be, you feel like you're so far away, but internally here, we know there's a few things we're not getting right. And so we'll be able to, right the ship. We know we're going to get our game back. It's tough to do nowadays, though, to get on that winning sheet because, as you know, this week we come up against Melbourne, who, not many teams are going to come in favourite to knock them off, but we're going to give it our best shot.
As you know, nothing's personal, so what can we break it down to? To go back to my first question, is it the coaching? Are you asking too much of the players that they can't do? Is it the players? Is it a change of game style that saw you go from the #1 attacking team, scoring team last year, to putting up 57 and 44 and a 30-point game? Well, you say you're in the dark, but how did you find yourself in the dark?
In a dark spot is more so what I'm saying there, Robbo, and it's a combination of things. Yeah, there can be that, at times you may overcoach. At times there might be a little too much detail. You might be focusing on the wrong areas. We've played 3 games, so I'm very mindful of looking at such a limited amount of data and making calls, but at the same time I'm also completely embracing the fact that we're not playing a brand at the moment that's anywhere near the footy we know we can play. So we're not hiding from it. We're out there. We've got to be better. It can be coaching, it can be playing, it can be small things around our shape on the field. But the last few weeks we just haven't looked like scoring, as you've said. We've got to be better in that space.
John, when you did your review today, did it reveal what you expected it to, that you felt in real time? What was at the core of yesterday for you?
Yeah, Gerard, it was pretty clear what we felt during the course of the game, and also what we looked at in the vision today was, we've just got to be stronger defensively. And I've always believed in being really strong without the ball, and if you're really strong without the ball, that gives you the opportunity to score, and it usually doesn't go the other way around. You've got to make sure, obviously, you win the contest or break even in the contest, and we're able to do that at times yesterday, not as consistently as what we'd like to have done it, but we're normally very good without the ball, and we're able to set up a lot of our scoring opportunities with the work rate that we do without the ball, and we only had 44 tackles, and we didn't pressure as much as what we do. So, it was a bit about our system, but also a bit about our intent and just getting that sorted at the coalface. And to be fair, and the players have been fantastic, and you know, it was only a 5 points in the end, and we look at it and go, geez, we played against a very good team. Richmond were fantastic. They played a really strong brand of footy, and to their great credit, and we could have played a bit better, but in the end we got rolled by 5 points, and we need to get that part of the game right.
We've seen you play dog-hungry football, John, so because they didn't, and we're not taking anything away from the opposition because they did. But is it a mental problem that you had on the weekend? Did the players think, oh, we're playing really good football here, this could be a little bit easier for us? I mean, I'm only asking the question because they're human and they're not robots.
No, exactly right. And if I could read every player's mind, I'd be an absolute genius, and we'd be winning every game possible known to man. So, you know, clearly that's not the case, and you don't know. And a bit like what Nixie was saying before, you know, it's usually a bit of everything. It's never one specific thing. It's usually a combination of different things. You know, we're talking about with Nixie's situation. We were 0-6 in I think 2017 after coming from a grand final in 2016. So, you know, these things do happen. But on the weekend, from us specifically, it was a combination of a few things, and we need to be better defensively. And normally when we're really strong defensively, we do, and what we've been for the first few weeks has been able to set that up. And we've got a lot of young players in our team at the moment, and we just need to be a bit more consistent in that space, and we've been generally pretty good in that.
Do you know the verdict on the Dane Rampy injury, John?
Not yet, Gerard, unfortunately. Look, I've got my fingers crossed that we get a positive result. We didn't get the scan done today. He gets that done tomorrow. Knowing what Dane's like, I'm more hopeful than expecting that it'll be okay. I'm hopeful that it'll be okay. So, you know, we subbed him. Obviously, he wouldn't have come off and if he'd have felt really good. So, or if it was just a little bit tight, he would have kept pushing. So, you know, I'm hopeful that it's okay rather than expecting.
And Matty, how heavily does it land when you have a player who's done his knee and out for the year? So Wayne Malera, it's the worst possible news.
Yeah, they're heartbreaking for our group and for Wayne and his family. He's, you know, it's his second now patella injury, so this one's the other leg. So when you see things like that and players going down, it's it's tough for the group and for the individual, but we'll put all the support we can around him.
John, I'm going to ask you about Sam Wicks from the outside. It looked like a pretty mature decision by the football club. On face value, from what's been released, I think everyone understands it was a smart move rather than a punishing move.
Yeah, look, Robbo, I guess I've been involved in footy for over 20 years, and most of the things you deal with in football over my time has been a lot of it has been non-football. So it's just one of those things that you need to make sure that you work through. We believe we're working through that well. We certainly think we gave ourselves the best possible chance to win the game on the weekend. We didn't do that, and unfortunately that was a you know, the end result of what happened on Sunday. But you know, we're mature enough to be able to work through that and get our focus on the footy.
Will he play this week?
Not sure yet. We'll see how the week progresses.
And Taylor Adams, do you know whether he'll be available for you?
I'd like him to be available, Gerard. I think that he got through 2.5 quarters, and you know, if he's able to get through training this week and pull up really well, he'll be right in the frame for selection this week. I mean, he's been such an asset to our place since he arrived, and we feel like you know, we've got a really young midfield. Apart from Isaac in our midfield group, our midfield group is 23 and under, the entire midfield group. And we introduced another debutant to that in Caleb Mitchell on the weekend. So we've got a young midfield group in which we knew, which was one of the reasons why we were so keen to get Taylor, and he's been enormous over the pre-season, what he's been able to add. So I'm really hopeful that if he gets through this week, he'll certainly be right in the frame for selection for his first game.
Matty, gather round here. All the teams are descending on your state, and you're one of the 2 teams in that state. You're looking for a trigger, somehow get into the heads of your players. How can gather round? Can that be a central core of maybe finding form and finding connection?
Well, we hope so, Robbo. We were able to do that last year. We really enjoyed the big stage, which was Thursday night footy. And as I mentioned last year, it's the place to be. So for those who listened, they've probably already booked their tickets to come over. I think most of the games are sold out, but it's an unbelievable weekend over here. It kicks off on Thursday, and then the footy just plays right the way through, and the vibe around the city's huge. So we're really looking forward to it, and we're coming off, as you know, our form's not where we want, so we just want to play, and to play Thursday night, there's no better opportunity. So looking forward to that.
Are you looking forward, John, to getting back across to the Festival of Footy as well as the business that has to be taken care of?
Absolutely, Gerard. It's we got back late last night, so we get onto it pretty quickly. Don't it? It sneaks up on you very quickly in a 6-day break. So can't wait to get over to Adelaide. Although I will put a plug in for New South Wales in the track at some time.
Yeah, I was going to say, John,
a few more footy grounds put in here.
Yeah, we've got to gather around to Sydney, don't we, at some stage?
Yeah,
absolutely.
John's a
And welcome you guys
South
into here.
Australian
Come and see us.
He's always been a South Australian fan.
Well, that's what me and Gerard will come up and we'll stay at your place, horse.
Yeah, no worries. You might just have to sleep in the one bed, but you'll be okay.
I thought you were going to say like the Step Brothers in a couple of bunks.
I had one more serious question I don't know whether I'll ask now. Matty, so here's my last totally out of place serious question. The decision to extend your contract now looks particularly salient for stability. What does it do for you that tonight's conversation and the next few weeks' conversation is not specifically about your job?
Well, it's not all about my job, and there's a lot more to this footy club than just me. But as everyone knows, I become the face of the footy club when you're the coach. But there's a lot of very, very good people that make this footy club what it is. So I'm lucky to at this point in time, be in charge. The last 3 games are by no means an indication of where this footy club's at. We look at a lot more data than that. So, you know, I'm proud to be the coach of the footy club. We'll fight back, and hopefully next time I come on 360 it can be off a win, because I seem to be coming on your show a fair bit after we've had a couple of losses. I know that's our fault, but we're going to try and get that right.
Good stuff. Matt, we'll see you in a couple of days in Adelaide.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks, guys.
John, you're late for a function. Thank you for staying for us, and good luck in Adelaide.
Thanks, guys.
Good on you. John Longmire and Matty Nicks with us on Coaches Night.
Fantastic.